What is astral projection and some techniques and experiences you have with it?
So astral projection is another one of those things that you might get a different answer depending on who you ask. So I'll start with the commonality among what people might say, and then I'll give a personal definition. So astral projection is essentially a way to experience out of body consciousness. That is probably the overall definition or the conglomerate um, commonality among how most people would describe it. It's intentional out of body experience is a way to think about it. Now, to me, astral projection is a tool. It's a spiritual science that can be used to explore both the inner and the outer realms of consciousness. It can be used to go into your own internal world, into your unconscious mind, and it's a way to actually explore external spaces outside of yourself. Some techniques for doing so. There is the rope method, and I'll get into these after I list a few. They're pretty self-explanatory. One is the rope method, another is the elevator method, one is the um, what I call the spirit breath method. There is the ocean method, and basically what these are ways to get yourself out of your body while still remaining conscious of your own awareness. So, the rope method is where you lay down and you completely relax yourself. And you essentially want to work yourself into what some people would refer to as sleep paralysis. And this can be scary for some because they haven't conquered their inner demons, so to speak, or they haven't gotten to a point of understanding with their inner demons. So as soon as they get into sleep paralysis, things show up and they don't know how to respond because they haven't tempered their sense of their sense of what would you call that? They haven't gotten to a point of understanding where they know that these things aren't exactly what they seem to be. They're just projections. And when I say just projections, I don't mean that they're just a psychological reflection. I'm saying that they're projections of something higher, of a principality. So you can use the rope method by laying down and relaxing yourself and slowing your breathing and essentially detaching your awareness from your physical body. And you imagine a rope coming down from the heavens or from the moon, so to speak. And you very, very slowly, without moving, you imagine that you're grabbing onto this rope and that you're pulling yourself out of your body very, very, very slowly until you get above the clouds. And oftentimes, when you get above the clouds, you will have an experience that is unearthly. There is the elevator method, which is where you imagine that you're getting out of your body and you're going into an elevator. And you can take the elevator up or down or side to side or back or forth, whichever way you choose. There's the backwards door method, which is where you sit down in a chair, much like this one, and you imagine that you get up out of your chair and you walk backwards out of the room. And a lot of the times when you walk backwards out of the room and then you turn around, you won't be in your living room or you won't be in your kitchen. You'll be somewhere else entirely. There's the spirit breath method, which is my favorite one, which is where you slowly breathe and then as you exhale, you imagine that your astral body is condensing into a cloud before you. And then there is the ocean method, which is where you basically sink into your consciousness as if it were an ocean. And you just go deeper, 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 deeper down into it until you basically end up at a portal at the bottom of the ocean that you go through and you end up somewhere else. The thing about these methods, though, is that you have to be able to empower what I call and what a lot of people call the etheric body, which is the difference between a daydream and an astral projection. When you can actually push your consciousness into that waking dream, so to speak, that's when the astral projections actually begin. And lastly, some experiences that I've had are meetings with ancestors, meetings with spirit animals, meetings with other practitioners, meetings with spirit guides, going to what's known as the inner lodge or the astral library. You can explore other planets. Now, whether or not you're actually exploring the planet or a psychological projection of that is up for debate, but you essentially can expand your consciousness past your daily earthly consciousness to gain a better understanding of the overall truth of things.